Check, check, 1, 2.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
All right. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host, Russell Wayne. How you all doing out there? It's your boy, Russell Wayne, and this is the Lion Villain Report. It's 10 a.m., and we are broadcasting live right now into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad Facebook page with over 54,000 villains on that page right here. And right now we're also on our own YouTube page, which is at Villain Squad. Please go and subscribe to that channel right there if you haven't already, and that way you can say, I took care of that thing for you. We are also broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. That's Joe Chapp and the boys over there, and that he is also the proud owner of JC Sports Network, which we are live on that YouTube page. We are live on their Facebook page. And right here and right now, we are brought to you by our affiliate marketing partners over at NFL Shop. Use the QR code right there and go get yourself one of them slick Jahmyr Gibbs black jerseys right there. And we are affiliate marketing partners with those guys. So thank you for your support on that. For my stars people, anybody that likes to share using stars, we are using our stars for a purpose. My wife has an autism awareness. She's an advocate for autism awareness, and she has a page in which she shares resources for parents that have children with special needs. So if you comment using the star program from Facebook, we're going to support her page with that, with autism awareness. And it is the main event football show tonight at 7 p.m. with Main Event Mike, who will be joining me here shortly with the Lions off season. But we're going to be doing a big review a big review for the game tonight, which the Lion Villain cast, we're going to be having our reaction show right here. Little watch party, Villain cast style. Lions versus Seahawks tonight. We're going to start that coverage at 8 p.m. Whew. All right. Got all that stuff out of the way. How y'all doing out there on this grand Monday where the Lions didn't have a game? Let's say hello to everybody in the comments. Henry Gray. Good morning to Lion family and the villains. Let's go Lions, one pride. Fred Peterson in the house. It's a great day to be a Lion, one pride. R.I.P. Christopher Christofferson, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Right there. Subscribe to the YouTube page right there. There is the link at Lions Villain Squad right there. Davey, good morning, One Pride. This is a must win. Dwayne is up in the house. Good morning to all. Let's go Lions, King of the North, NFC North Division champion title. 2-1. Let's make it 3-1. Won't be on soon. Getting root canal done soon. That is not fun. I am sorry that you have to go for that tonight. Mark, good morning to you, Mark, and good morning to you, Steve. Blackout Friday at Ford Field. Who's going to the game? Anybody out there going to the game? Donald, what's up, my brother? One Villain. Good morning. All right, broski on. It's a Victory Monday. Good morning. DeAndre Swift with a good game yesterday. The Bears get a win over the Rams. You know, you take your wins any way that you can get them. The Bears are now 2-2, and the Packers are now 2-2. And we want to be able to talk about some of those games right there going through. But before I do that, a person that's a little bit better at going through these games than I am is my compadre right here for Monday mornings. Usually a review preview, but we don't have a Lions game to review. So we're going to talk about the other games. But welcome to the program, Main Event Mike, Emmy-nominated Main Event Mike.
Good morning, Russ. Sorry I'm late. I was trying to chase down Derrick Henry and tell him he can quit running now.
He was running. You want to talk about that right away? Damn.
Wow. What a game. What a game by Derrick Henry. What a game by the Baltimore Ravens last night on Sunday Night Football. Beating an unbeaten Buffalo Bills team. Buffalo tried to come back, but they just put their foot right on their throat and slammed the door in the fourth quarter. This team looks for real. I know they lost at home to the Raiders, but no one's going to go undefeated. So just they look really, really strong last night, and they might be the team that represents the AFC in the Super Bowl this year, because the Chiefs, even though they are undefeated, they don't look impressive in any of these wins. They're barely getting by. They're doing what good teams do, and they're finding a way to win. So AFC is really intriguing. Some of the contenders are turning into be pretenders over in the AFC, like the Cleveland Browns, like the New York Jets, who lost to the Denver Broncos, for crying out loud. So contenders and pretenders are starting to shake themselves out as we approach the first quarter of the season. And for the Detroit Lions, they got to face an unbeaten team tonight who's kind of beat up, but we have some issues in the secondary. So just a few unbeaten teams left in the league now as the league starts to shake out. If you joined our program on Thursdays, we did our predictions like we always do, and we didn't fare so good this week. A lot of games we picked correctly, but the point spread killed us. Vegas knows what they're doing. Look, folks, it's easy to pick who's going to win the game. Okay, that's not hard. It's when you start to figure in the point spreads that it becomes hard, like Houston and Jacksonville, right? We knew Houston was going to win that game. I was the only one who took Jacksonville in the points, so I win. Russell Wayne, you picked 7 out of 14. Not too bad. I picked 6 out of 14. And former Detroit Lion Mark Schmidt, who's on the program every Thursday, by the way, you should tune in and watch us do our predictions every Thursday on this very program. Mark Schmidt also picked 7 out of 14. So 2 games tonight. Tennessee at Miami -1. Mark Schmidt and I both took Tennessee. Russ is the outlier. He took Miami, which I don't even know who's playing quarterback for Miami. Russ, do you know?
I don't even know, but it's like that's like a battle of like who do I think is the worst team, and Tennessee's just not a good team, and at least Miami had some other things going on that were good, and
well,
they just ran it.
You may be relieved to know that the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins will be Tyler Huntley, who had a Pro Bowl season in 2022, so maybe even a better option than they had last week with Skylar Thompson. So that's tonight. Also, of course, Seattle at Detroit. What's that?
I said it may be a better option than Tua. I've never been a big believer in Tua.
He's a very, hey, you know what? He's a very accurate quarterback. Tua is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. And he really had a great season last year. He led the league in passing last year. Miami fans were expecting big things, but their whole season's been derailed, it seems like, with injury. A lot of teams, you could say that 4 games into the season, and a lot of teams' season have hit big bumps in the road due to injury, the Green Bay Packers notwithstanding.
Didn't they have a game last year where they scored like 70 points against the team and had like 700 yards on offense?
Correct. Miami beat Denver 70 with 70 points. That's right.
Last year. Like sometimes when you look at yards and stuff like that, it's just like, I don't know. Poor Tua, though. I mean, the guy gets knocked out, and it's like he should just end his career right now, but he'll probably keep on going. And, you know, this whole CTE thing, it's like they're not even taking consideration to their bodies. I mean, he's still young, so yeah, I could still go.
And he can also walk away with $90 million. He can walk away right now with $90 million of the Miami Dolphins money and have his health for the rest of his life and save himself from further damage. I think the big news, though, coming out of yesterday for us is the NFC North scores, right? The Chicago Bears prevail against the Los Angeles Rams. They win 24-18. They cover the spread. You were the only one, Russ, that took the Rams in the points. And the Green Bay Packers, that's the real big news here, right? The Green Bay Packers lose, but the Minnesota Vikings go to 4-0. I haven't checked the chat yet, but I'm sure we have some Viking fans in here who are gloating. And they
should be.
The trash talk groups were full of Viking fans coming out of the woodwork to lay it down on the Green Bay Packer fans. That was really nice to see. So Minnesota and Chicago both win. Minnesota goes to 4-0. Chicago goes to 2-2. No real surprise there for Chicago. Green Bay goes to 2-2. I mean, that if the Lions go 2-2 as well, I don't think anybody's hitting the panic button on any of these teams yet. But the big surprise, Minnesota Vikings go 4-0. Sam Darnold looked like the guy that was drafted as the number 1 overall pick in this league. Was dropping dimes. He was accurate. He even scrambled for a big first down when Green Bay was starting to come back. Look, the final score in this game was 31-29, which means it wasn't that close, folks. Don't let that score fool you. If you go back and look at the box score, neither team scored in the third quarter, and it was too little too late for the Green Bay Packers as they started to pour it on in the fourth quarter. And I know, like you said yesterday, Russ, some of these Viking fans are going to say, yeah, but we were in prevent. That doesn't mean anything. We had such a big lead in the fourth quarter that we had to just lay back and let them do what they were going to do. And Jordan Love did. He came alive in that fourth quarter, came roaring back to try to win the game. So kudos to him. But let's not read too much into that because Minnesota had this game in hand. By halftime, they were up by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they were never in any danger with that. So I probably wouldn't let, allow that to happen right there, because I mean, they jumped out to a big lead. Kudos to the Minnesota Vikings for doing that. But I'm not going to let you undersell what Jordan Love did at the end, because that was probably the most nerve-wracking onside kick that you had. You didn't expect them to be that close. You let off the gas, and if you do that against some teams that you're not out in front of, you're going to get beat, Minnesota. You look mortal in that game for sure when it came down to the end. I'm not going to read too much into it, because it was like they were protecting the lead. But that's still not an excuse to just let him go down the field that quickly. I mean, he's just throwing these seam passes right down the middle of the field, and they're taking 20-yard chunks. I know it's prevent defense, but you can't allow that. You can't allow that. I don't care what you're doing right there. So both of the teams looked really mortal right there. When I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers, they got ran on. Their defense looked okay. They didn't have Jair Alexander. Okay. So I guess if we're running the excuse train, then you didn't have, but it is next man up. You got to get the next man up to play. And
bad penalties by the Packers. They currently in the top 5 of most penalized team in the league. Matt LaFleur, a great play caller, one of the best play callers maybe ever. But I've got to question the coaching staff on this one when you're putting that many penalties at home nonetheless. Let's take a look at the chat, see who we got in here today. Good morning, villains. We got Henry in the house. Fred Peterson in the house. Fred says, "What? Rest in peace, Chris Christopherson. I did not know that Chris Christopherson died, Fred. One of the greatest songwriters of all time, the man who wrote Bobby McGee for Janis Joplin. Such a great call out right there. Rest in peace, Chris Christopherson." Davey in the house this morning. Dwayne Keene, let's go Lions. Mark in the house says, good morning. Steve in the house. Donald and our good friend Broski Bear, because the Bears won. Of course, Broski's in here this morning. Good morning, Broski. Glad to see you. He says Swift with 93 yards rushing and a TD, 7 receptions for 72 yards receiving. Absolutely. I mean, Caleb Williams is proving to be one heck of a screen pass thrower. Sarah in the house. Congrats to your Vikings, Sarah, for being 4-0. I was telling Russ, we missed a great meme opportunity with that guy who's going to push 2 buttons. Do we want the Vikings to go 4-0 as Lions fans, or do we want the Packers to lose? I think we got the result we all wanted as Lions fans.
Yeah. I like Viking fans. I went to US Bank Stadium, and I tell you what, they've been the most inviting, like coolest fan base out of any of the away fan bases that my son and I went to. I mean, there were some buttholes at Baltimore last year. I mean, it was like, yeah. So we're gonna keep on, see who's the nicest fan base. But those guys from Minnesota, they were all really, really nice, and that was even a close game, going to it. So yeah, kudos to the Viking fans. I like the Viking fans. I was rooting for the Vikings yesterday. There was no button for me. It was the Vikings. I'll take that.
Right, and the Lions have to play them twice. Mm-hmm. So we control our own destiny there. We just got to win our games, and it doesn't matter if they go 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. They're going to have to play the Lions twice. So we're going to have our chance. And I mean, I would love it if it's a race between the Vikings and the Lions at the end, not the Lions and the Packers, as everyone predicted. Elise Memes in the house. Good morning, Elise. Also, Ken Fisher. Good morning, Russell and Mike. Good morning to you, Ken. A lot of the same, the regulars. What do we call them? The usual suspects in here today. Jason MC says Skol 4-0. Love that call. Great to see you in here. Timothy Carter in this morning. Good morning, Timothy. Welcome to the show. Let's go Lions from BA. Oh no, it's VA from Virginia. All right.
Welcome, Virginia.
Welcome to the program.
Virginia's in the house. Now, I did get all these roast posts put in here. I didn't know if you wanted to hit those up or if you wanted to save those for a little bit later, but there's some
One-
good ones in here, man. I was kind of surprised with how good these were, but when the Packers lose,
Yeah.
they talk more trash than any other fan base, win or lose.
You notice there's none in here this morning. No Packer fans in the chat this morning.
No, I don't. Steve will pop in after a victory every once in a while, but
then he'll say, "I've been here.
I've been in here. I've just been listening. I'm in the background."
Yeah.
Or something tragic happens, and I'm not trying to down on anybody who has tragedy in their life. I understand it, but it seems like tragedy lines right up with winning and losing in the NFL when it comes to this trash talking show. It's like, oh shoot, oh man, these things happen in my life and I just couldn't make it on. It's like, yeah, but you made it on last week when you won. Yeah, those tragedies weren't so tragic.
And Howard Brunson says, thank God, because Packer fans are so annoying. Think about it, Howard. Wouldn't you love for them to say someday that Lions fans are so annoying because we win so much?
Right.
And we develop all these habits that winners develop, like looking down our nose at other teams and poo-pooing it off if we lose because we are the Packers. I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but I'm a little envious of that annoyance. I wish I could be that annoying.
Well, it becomes annoying when they pass the point where it's not like they're the dominating team anymore. They haven't been the dominating team, but yet they talk like they're the dominating team, like in the division and everything. And it's like you haven't like won the division since like 2020 or something like that when Aaron Rodgers was there. And it's like, okay, cool. You used to be really, really good, but why are you bragging it up right now? Oh, you Lion fans don't know how to act when you win. Well, how are we supposed to act when you win? Are we supposed to like, wow, look at Russ over there. He's being so like he's just sitting there and he could be talking so much shit, but he doesn't. Wow, how does he do that? He's like a Packer fan or something. Look at. Yeah, we just went. Like, what do we do? Like when you win, you wash your hands.
Right. Michael's in the chat. He says, is Branch playing tonight? He is not, Michael. Brian Branch ruled out of the game tonight due to illness. He did suffer a huge hit and went into concussion protocol. Apparently, he cleared concussion protocol, but dealing with an illness, unspecified illness, I should say, and ruled out for tonight's game, which is a real bummer. Something we were going to talk about, Russ, with Ife Melifonwu on injured reserve. Now Brian Branch going out. A position that was deep for us, safety, now looking kind of thin. Who's going to start next to Kirby Joseph there and play safety? Is it going to be Khalil Dorsey? Is it going to be, is Ennis Rakestraw is listed as healthy today? So he's going to come back and maybe play the slot now. Amik Robertson, who's going to play that safety spot tonight? No one knows at this point. Chada in the chat says Brandon Joseph going to have to step up. And Brandon Joseph, 2 years in a row, he tried to make this team. He finally cracked the starting or the 53-man roster this year. He played great in the preseason. He played great in minicamp, training camp. Let's see if he can step up tonight and fill some big shoes with Brian Branch. Definitely a
Strickland, and I would think that if they're going to replace him, they're probably going to replace him with somebody that has the safety title before they start, throwing Hail Marys with Amik Robertson and Ennis Rakestraw and playing these guys out of position. Brandon Joseph, that's a really, really good call. Now, you don't know, these names aren't household names, but these are guys that have been with this regime. I mean, Brandon Joseph's been there a couple years. He worked his way, like he said, onto the practice squad. Lawrence Strickland was one of those UDFAs that came in and made his way onto this team. And because you already had a Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, you didn't like, these are guys that might have made different rosters that are going to be stepping in for Brian Branch. So Brian Branch is one of the best safeties in the NFL. So you're not just going to go, just throw this guy in, but you can have quality guys that understand what the defense is trying to do that are going in. And I think they have two candidates that will be just fine in that position. You know,
Mhm.
you might have to expect more out of the other guys that are in the cornerback room, maybe a little bit extra out of Terrion Arnold and everybody expanding their zones or something a little bit to kind of, you know, make it so he doesn't get exposed going out
Mhm.
there for the first time. But, you know, it's next man up all the way across.
Mhm. Ken says, any updates on Ragnow or Branch? We know both of them are scratched for tonight. When, as you say, Laporta is going to play. Going to be real big, though. And here's what Mark is saying. I predict we handle the run okay tonight. Kenneth Walker III returns to the lineup tonight for Seattle. Zach Charbonnet did a great job of filling in for him. They have two really good running backs, but they have really great receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, and the big man, DK Metcalf. Mark says he predicts Metcalf goes off on our secondary. Well, he does every time he plays us. We've had a real hard time stopping DK Metcalf. The Lions, 0-6 in the last 6 meetings. I think it's actually 10 straight.
Yeah.
I think they've beaten us. Dan Campbell has never beaten
2012.
Seattle. 0-3 every year that he's been the coach of the Lions. Dan Campbell's had to face the Seahawks, and he has lost. And every time DK Metcalf goes off on us. Carlton Davis is going to be tasked with guarding DK Metcalf, and he's a bigger, longer corner, so he's going to fare better than Jeff Okudah did. He's going to fare better than Kendall Vildor did, or these guys that played him last year did.
Honestly, go look at that. Like if you're worried about that, can you bring that comment back up, Mike? With that about DK Metcalf, I wanted to see who I'm talking. Okay, Mark, go if you want to go check out an interesting stat. Go check out Carlton Davis in his one-on-one coverage versus DK Metcalf when he was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. DK Metcalf has not fared very well against one Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis is a bigger cornerback. He's the biggest cornerback that we've had since Dan Campbell's been here. All the cornerbacks have been 5'10", like and shorter, because we get these guys that are, you know, blue chipper guys that were really, really good, but we've never had a big corner that can match up against the big wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlton Davis fits that bill. He may not be the best corner in the league. I'm not saying that he's Jalen Ramsey or something like that, but he's 6'1". He's got the length, and he plays good press man coverage. Expect DK Metcalf to be covered by Carlton Davis tonight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jeremy B in the house says 6 straight wins by Seattle. 7 games ago was our last win against Seattle. Good. Thanks for clearing that up. Appreciate that. Chada says Pete Carroll is gone now, though. So that's a great point. Mike McDonald, his first time against the Lions as new head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. So Dan Campbell will never get his chance to avenge those 3 losses to Pete Carroll. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm glad Pete Carroll's gone. One of the best coaches of all time in some respects. Here's a really good stat for you folks. And this shows you how good those receivers in Seattle are. Geno Smith is number 1 in the league this year when facing press man coverage. The Detroit Lions, conversely, are number 2 in the league for running press man coverage this year. They've run press man 46% of the time, which is the second highest total in the entire league. And Geno Smith, number 1 against that kind of coverage. And here's why. It's not because Geno Smith's that great. It's because your receivers are one-on-one. And you can throw it up there. When you've got a great receiver, the throw doesn't have to be that perfect. And this metric is completion percentage against man coverage is a direct indicator of what kind of wide receivers you have. So it's going to be very interesting. Geno's a mobile guy. He can hurt you with his legs. He's hurt us in the past. And when you play man coverage, you have to turn your back to the quarterback. It's going to be very interesting to see if the Lions put a spy on him with a linebacker. It would be nice to have Derek Barnes in this game, but he's out as well. Both teams suffering injuries like most teams around the NFL in week 4. But these two teams seem to be fairly even in what's happening here. The biggest concern I have is for the Seattle Seahawks. Their offensive line is beat right up. They are playing a third option tackle against Aiden Hutchinson tonight, and we could see Aiden Hutchinson really feast tonight. But the Lions also lose Marcus Davenport on the other side. So who's going to step in on that side? Dan Campbell's already said it's going to be Josh Paschal. He's also playing against a second string tackle. So to me, this is the key matchup. Remember we used to do key matchups, Russ? This is the key matchup for me. Seattle's offensive line against defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks. You are watching the Villain Report on the Villain Squad Network. Put it in the chat. Tell us, what do you think is the most key matchup for tonight's game? For me, it's the D-line of the Lions versus the O-line of the Seahawks. We want to know what you think. This is the Villain Report, brought to you by NFL Shop. The Villain Squad is an official marketing partner of NFL Shop. You can go to nflshop.com or click on that QR code right there and pick up one of them snazzy Lions hats or a Jared Goff jersey or any NFL swag. When you click that code, you will leverage the power of the Villain and get 25% off. It's a great deal. It's only 4 weeks. We're going into the bye next week, guys. The following week, it's at the Dallas Cowboys. So you want to be dressed to the nines. You want to show your complete fandom. So let's get some NFL gear. I know I just ordered a black jersey myself. I was hoping it would be here in time for the game tonight, but it's not going to make it. So I will have it in time for the Dallas game. Yeah, and there you go. There, we paid a little bills there, buddy.
A little bit. I wanted to hit up the injuries right there, because there are key injuries on the both sides of the line, but it seems like, you know, where they're injured at is where the opposite is injured too. So like where Frank the Tank is not going to be in there. And I know that is a big deal, guys. And I was talking a little bit earlier about how it is a big deal to have Frank the Tank out, but it's not as big of a deal when you have Hank. You don't have Frank, but you do have Hank. And Hank Fraley is one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, which is the reason why Next Man Up seems to work. So what they're probably going to do tonight is Graham Glasgow is going to move into center, and Awasika is going to come in and fill that guard spot. Now, I know that there were some Michael Neese, you know, they brought this guy in or whatever. Neese, oh, yeah, he did so good in preseason. Here's the thing. He doesn't have any experience. Glasgow has experience playing center in the NFL and NFL games. Awasika also has experience playing guard. Last year, that was a revolving door. We were very injured on the offensive line last year, and we were able to overcome it because we did have depth. Now, not all the guys, he's not Frank. Graham Glasgow is not Frank, you know, and Awasika isn't, it's not a full strength offensive line, but how many times have we really had a full complement of offensive linemen of the five that we wanted to see, Mike? How many times has that really happened?
Right. And one thing is Frank's not going to the IR. Okay. So it's going to be less than 4 games. They expect actually that with the bye week, he'll be ready for Dallas. And here's another good thing about it. It is not that recurring turf toe injury that Frank Ragnow has, which is inoperable, by the way. He'll either have to retire or play through the pain to go with this turf toe injury that he has. And that is not what this injury is. So that is actually encouraging. And Graham Glasgow, to your point, Russ, has not only played center in this league, he's played center for the Detroit Lions in this league last year. And this is what Smoke and Jeremy B is saying. The lineup we're running out is very similar to the line that won our only game last year while Frank was out. So that's a great call out there.
Yep. And then you have those other options too. It's not like Neese isn't going to get a chance. Like if something else were to happen, if there was another guard injury, I would fully expect them to bring in Neese and then bring Glasgow back in and then move somebody else back into that spot. That would be the third option, which also alludes to the depth again. Again, there's different combinations of things that we can do with this offensive line where they have experience. Now, as far as the Brian Branch thing goes, I mean, we have secondary players that have been playing well that you don't know the name of, that have, you know, like you said, Dorsey, you know, you don't know Ennis Rakestraw. They're probably going to be moving these guys in and out. Strickland, Brandon Joseph. I don't know who they're going to bring up, but we got experienced guys. Like, if you're one of those people that think that Brad Holmes needs to go out there, oh my God, we got to go spend a bunch of money. Let's bring somebody in from the outside. It's probably not going to happen. If they're not going to go get somebody that doesn't know the defense, that's super talented or whatever, and trade draft capital and spend a bunch of money. They believe in the next man up. You know, Marcus Davenport, he's gone, but this is the day that Josh Pascal has been waiting for his entire career. You're going to get a start. You're going to get your chance. It's taken you 3 years to get this shot. Here you are in the third year, which, by the way, third year in this system, it just seems to do something. Derek Barnes, it just seems to do something. Ifeatu Melifonwu, it just seems to do something. Aleem McNeil. And now Aiden Hutchinson going in your third year. Something about being in this system and the way that they coach, where third year, something happens, the light goes on. Ah, that's what you want me to do. And I'm expecting Josh Pascal to be that guy. I think he's going to step right in, and he's going to be maybe not a 2-sack tonight or something, but he's going to play the run well. He's going to maintain gap integrity and make sure that he doesn't run past Geno Smith, because they're disciplined. They're not running past these running quarterbacks. They're collapsing the pocket and on like they did at Kyler Murray. They just faced a mobile quarterback. I think it's going to help them in this game tonight that they played a mobile quarterback last week. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Forrest. Elise Meme says that we need to hear how Beavis and Butthead feel about tonight's game.
Hey, Butthead. Lions playing tonight. Lions rule. Kick ass. Yeah. Oh, what? Well, they haven't beaten Pete Carroll.
Shut up, dumbass. Shut up, dumbass. Pete Carroll doesn't even coach anymore. You suck.
Nice. Michael Wright says, is DJ Reader healthy? I don't know about healthy, but he's going to play. And you know who else is going to play? Aleem McNeil is 100% going to play. And there's a Packer fan in there this morning. He says, everyone enjoy. That's all I'm going to say. We are enjoying it, Steve. We are enjoying it when the Packers lose. That's what happens when you've won multiple Super Bowls. That's what happens when you control a division for 30 years. That when you do lose, we're going to kick you when you're down. You're doggone right. But no one was pulling any punches in the trash talking groups this week after the Packers lost. It was the Packers who were the redheaded stepchild in the trash talk groups this week. Bears fans, Vikings fans, Lions fans, all jumping on to roast the Packers. This is a segment that we like to call Roast Post. This segment brought to you by NFLShop.com. Packers fans be like, I'll be back talking shit on Facebook when the Packers win again. For sure. We know that. Steve says, all I'm going to say is just enjoy. That's because you lost. If you won, Steve, you'd be in here talking, and we can't wait to hear what that sounds like next year. Hopefully you lose the rest of your games now. There's my all-time favorite rapper, Ice Cube, says, Bears win, Packers lose. Today was a good day.
It was a good day.
Today was a good day.
It
didn't have to use an AK. I don't always watch the Packers lose. Just kidding. I love that shit. The most interesting man in the world kicking the pack when they're down. Here's now this one is in poor taste. So look away or plug your ears if you are faint of heart. Well, that's the second drive that ended badly for Rashee Rice this year. Oh, man. That one personally stings because at 12:45 yesterday, I made a trade in my fantasy league, and I traded James Cook from the Buffalo Bills for Rashee Rice and James Conner in a nice trade I thought was going to work out great for my team since I have Patrick Mahomes. And then Rashee Rice goes down 20 minutes after he gets on my team. So not good. This one is my favorite. Made me a grilled cheese after the game. Grilled cheese. Love
Grilled.
it. Viking fan.
That's awesome. See, I mean, even the skull, their trash talking is better.
Made me a grilled cheese. And then you did have some Packer fans coming back. Let's be honest. The Vikings got lucky. Yeah, they got lucky. They got lucky they picked up Sam Darnold.
Yep, that's you. If you think that the Vikings got lucky, that's you right now. Right there. That's you. You're just crying, trying to make excuses up. You lost. You lost. You got beat by the better team. The better team beat you. You got lucky. You got lucky to keep it within 2 points. How about that? We'll say that.
For sure.
And there you go.
This one comes from Derek Hessam, says, the comments are open for excuses, Packer fans. And that goes here. That goes for here too.
Yeah.
There's a comment section right over here. You can go ahead and put in your excuses, Packer fans. We'd love to hear
let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's a live look at Green Bay today.
Trash. Oh, trash can. And this one comes from NFL Memes. These guys are savages over at NFL Memes. I see no lies here. And there, I like this one too. Are you not entertained? That one's for you, Sarah. I thought of you when I stole this one off the internet. Love it. Vikings fan, you got to get it. but it's cold in the basement. That's you right now.
Yep. Look at all that crying. All of that crying at 2-2. It's like, oh, enjoy it now. Enjoy it now. What if the Packers go to 2-3 and then 2-4 and then 2-5 and you know we might be enjoying it all year.
Well, I mean, it is a topsy-turvy world, right? I mean, let's look. Hold on. The Packers are 2-2. Malik Willis is 2-0, and Jordan Love is 0-2. What is happening here? Sam Darnold and Derek Carr lead the league in passing? What is happening here? Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well,
the Niners keep winning even though they don't have any weapons on offense left.
Well, that's the end of our roast posts. That'll conclude that segment right there, unless you want to look at another picture of Darnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah! Take my hand!
Went back in time to save John Connor, but he wasn't available, so I had to save James Connor and bring him back to my fantasy football league.
You traded for James Connor, huh?
I did.
That might be the biggest thing in the world.
And he scored a touchdown for me.
That segment right there was brought to you by our Guilty by Association. You can partner with the Villain Squad. Right there. We have 7 shows a week that you can be a part of right there. And if you want to know what our sponsor packages are or our pricings, you can contact Main Event Mike at 810-620-2167. And then you can have your business be in that clever little spot down in the corner, in the right-hand corner where it says NFL Shop. That could be your business. But you got to call Mike.
That's right. It's very affordable as well to get promoted here on the Villain Squad Network. It's very affordable. So give me a call and let's talk about how you or your business can leverage the power of the villain.
And we do appreciate all the live people on here. Like when you guys come on here live, the bulk of the views that come from our program actually come during the day, during the rest of the day between now and then, while in the replay, people watch it at their leisure. But we do appreciate the live audience. I mean, it makes it so much better when you guys are commenting and being part of the conversation that's on here. And even if you're not on here, we got our Facebook page where we're going live into right now, broadcasting live with our 54,000 people on our YouTube page. We have you can come and subscribe to that too. That's where we're going to have the Villain Cast on there tonight. And Joe Chapp and the boys over there at Detroit Lions News Podcast. And also he is the proud owner of JC Sports Network on YouTube as well. So cool. We're getting better at paying these bills. So now we got that stuff.
Yeah. And I actually have an appointment with a client today at 11. So I need to jump off sooner. But I did want to talk about a couple of things before I go, if that's okay, Russ.
Go ahead.
A couple of things. And these are what stood out to me about yesterday's games. The Philadelphia Eagles got beat down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A repeat of what happened to them in the playoffs last year. 33-16, and it wasn't even that close. The Bucks jumped out at least 28-0. At one point, they had almost 200 yards of offense, and the Eagles had 0. And if I look up and down the roster, the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best, if not the best, man-for-man roster from 2 to 53. Other than Patrick Mahomes, up and down the roster, they are strong. So what is going on with this team? I mean, how did they get beat down so badly? Now that Matt Patricia's out, he's gone. I thought this would fix them. I thought they were the number one contender to win the Super Bowl, to win the NFC. I thought it was going to come down to the Eagles and the Lions for the NFC title, and it may still. But right now, something is happening to the Philadelphia Eagles. The whole thing smells. The whole thing. Same with the Cleveland Browns. We predicted on this very show that the Cleveland Browns would never prosper with Deshaun Watson. Something is just off. Cleveland loses to the Raiders 20-16.
Yep. And there was
they
no
didn't
help.
look good at all. Deshaun Watson actually looked better than he has. Something's off with these teams. There's such a thing as biorhythms, momentum. These things are real, okay? I don't know if karma is real, but I can tell you that something's off with these teams. When you look up and down the rosters, they should be better. Another thing that stuck out for me, Jaden freaking Daniels. This kid is the real deal. Completing over 82% of his passes through 4 games, unheard of. Unheard of. Not just a rookie record, an NFL record. Jaden Daniels is the truth, folks. He goes into Arizona. I picked against him in this game. I thought all the college ball he played in Arizona, the way that the Cardinals played tough against the Lions, they were going to beat the Commanders. They were favored to beat the Commanders by 3.5 points. They lose 42-14. Is Dan Quinn that good of a coach? They lost so many players. We're like, oh, this is a rebuild year for the Commanders. Oh, they're rebuilding. No, folks. They're going to challenge the Cowboys and Eagles for this division. Cowboys and Eagles, neither one look fabulous. This division is ripe for the taking for a team like the Washington Commanders to sneak up and win this division. Jaden Daniels, the real deal. He's going to be a problem for years to come. Do not go to our YouTube and check out the archive and find that episode where I said he was going to be a bust. Do not do that and bring that up, because I did say that. I thought he was overrated coming out of college, and that's why I'm on the internet, not on ESPN, I guess. So that's my 2 biggest takeaways right there. I got a jet. God bless you, Russ, and all the villains. Have a great day, everyone.
That's Main Event Mike. You can check him out tonight at 7 p.m. for the Main Event Football Show. We're going to give you a nice long preview of this Lions game beforehand, and going right into the Villain Cast tonight, where we're going to just spend some time. Let's have a watch party tonight. Who's joining me? Exclusively on YouTube. We're going to just keep it on YouTube. I know that I said I might go on the Facebook page. I just don't want to take any chances with the Facebook page. Facebook page has got 54,000 people on it. I wouldn't want them to just take that away from us for a dumb reason. We're not broadcasting it visual wise. We're just putting, some of the audio out there, and I'm going to call the game. And so far it's been working. And this is the Lion Villain Report right here. Let's get into some of these comments right here. Jason MC says, eat that crow, Green Bay. You got to on this. And see, what I try to stop from happening on this program is, like, I do most of my trash talking, the bulk of my trash talking comes after wins. And when your team doesn't win, you don't get to come in and run your mouth. And, you don't get to minimize other people's wins. You don't get to do that unless your team wins, at least on this program. You can go anywhere else. You can talk crap. It's America. But, on this program, we keep ourselves from doing it. We have, respect rules on here. You earn respect by getting W's in this league. Michael Wright says definitely needs somebody to humble the Vikings for sure. But right now they're not. They're at the top. What a dumbass. There we go. When Matt LaFleur started crying and calling that timeout, I immediately thought about the LaFleur meme. Yeah, this guy. Yep, that was fresh in right off the Matt LaFleur take train right there. Let's see what we got here. If I was a Packer fan, I would wake up this morning and look at this and yell, we're only 2-2. It's okay. It's okay. The Packer fans are 2-2. You're not the dominating franchise that you once were. You don't dominate games anymore. You don't have the great Aaron Rodgers. You have a good quarterback, but you don't have a guy that's like that owned the entire division. Maybe Packer fans can get that top 5 draft picks. You guys are funny. Everyone says that Willis has the tools and the talents to be a quarterback, but he is a long-term project. That's all right. He didn't do anything in those first 2 games. They were able to protect him with defense and running the football. But there's certain teams that you're just not going to be able to run the football against. Packers ain't going to run the football against the Lions. And neither are the Minnesota Vikings. You're going to have, if the Minnesota Vikings are going to beat the Lions, they're going to have to do it through the air. They're going to have to do it through Sam Darnold, because that's one of the strengths of the Lions team is we make teams one-dimensional. You don't run the football against us. You don't run the football against the Lions in the last 2 years, really. I think Green Bay deserves credit. They don't lay down. Almost came back, but almost doesn't count. I don't think they deserve credit. Why do you deserve credit when you go down 28-0? Ain't nobody on here giving the Lions credit on wins. As a matter of fact, we come on this show, and most Lion fans are so hard on the damn team that they try to take credit away from the Lions even during the wins. So I'm not going to give Green Bay any credit for almost coming back. No, I won't do that, Corey. Missed it by that much. Definitely more fun live for sure. On the 17th day, the Lord said that he is going to flood the earth. I didn't realize that it was with Packer tears. Set me up good for that one, Fred. I hope you see my take on Love's performance. Oh, gosh, I don't know. I'm looking for Love's performance. Okay. I will say that Love did not look comfortable planting his leg while throwing. They rushed him back and ruined the chemistry that Willis had created. That's a good point. Man, I'm not going to disagree with that. No lies detected right there. Sirianni is a fraudulent coach. Quit on their coach. Coaching in Philadelphia. And, to Mike's point, like when I look at that Philadelphia team, I look at some of these teams like plastic teams, right? You know, like the Dallas Cowboys. Like the Dallas Cowboys have good players, right? They have really, really good players, but they can't put it together in you know, they're not going to beat the good teams that are all together like a unit, right? I mean, that's the biggest problem I see with the Bears. The Bears, it's not talent. It's never been talent with them. I think that Poles does a great job at bringing talent in. They just don't have the coaching and the discipline to stay in there. And to beat the good teams, you have to be able to use the kung fu that you have, and you need to play a solid game all the way through. And it's a team that makes the least mistakes wins when it comes with the best teams. Now, there's a whole bunch of teams that are in the middle where they're good enough to win games, that got talent enough to win games. And I think that's where Philadelphia is right now. They got a lot of talent, but he doesn't have them playing together yet. He doesn't have the unit. Like when you look at teams that have, quote unquote depth on their team, the depth is a result of good coaching. Because with the 1,800 players that are in the NFL, on the top to bottom, it's like the talent margin is so small. When you're talking about, the best team versus the worst team. So when it comes down to those schematics, especially on the pro level, and getting your team to play together and to buy in to whatever the coach is laying down, it's huge. That's huge. Because when you get deep in these games, you have to, find that grit, that will. Well, that comes from, knowing what you're doing, and having confidence that the guy next to you knows what he's doing too. So I think that's what happened to Sirianni. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a good coach that got a hold of a lot of good players and made a nice run. But Broski said, okay, you guys are talking with each other. Congrats on the win, Broski. That was my lock pick. Nice. We lost, no big deal. We're 2-2, no worries. I believe in this team. Okay, well, this is a tough division, Steve, and you just lost the division game. It's not going to get any easier for you. It's not going to get any easier for the Packers. I think Jeremy had some things that were right on that, Steve, where I think that they rushed. I'm going to agree with that take, Jeremy. I think that they rushed Jordan Love back because it was a division game, and it's all good, man. Like, it's all good, but you got a tough division right here. None of these teams are going to lay down. Not sure if you can go back and block him. All right. Until the Bears beat the Fudgies 2 games in a row, I can't begin to talk about the Fudgies fans. You can talk this week, broski. Underneath of our rules, underneath of the Villain Cast and the Villain Squad and our network, you have earned the right to run around the streets of Chicago with your metaphorical ding-ding, hanging out, waving it around, and saying, ha-ha, you won. Your team won. I don't care how it looked. I mean, even if I had the opinion that you beat a beat up team, you can say the same thing about the Lions. You win. You win in the NFL. And then I get that, You're not going to have the satisfaction until you finally get that win over the Pack. And this is the way to do it. Steve's enjoying this. This is why I love Steve. He's a good sport. He's a good sport on the L weeks. In closing, off topic, which of the Tigers did luck in their series against Houston starting tomorrow? Wish. Okay. In closing, off topic, we wish the Tigers good luck tomorrow against Houston. What you couldn't have wrote it any better for the Tigers. I'm proud of the Tigers. The Villain can extend out to the Tigers. It's feeling good. It's all good. You think the Tigers can win and beat and beat Houston, the Astros, get some revenge? That Tiger team reminds me of that 2022 team that beat the Green Bay and Lambeau to knock them out of the playoffs when we had nothing to play for. Just a bunch of gritty guys that, maybe not the most talented team, but that whole 2022 team was proof that you can take guys with less talent if they believe in each other, that they can do good things. And that's what the Tigers are this year. Got a bunch of guys that are just finding their way together. Young roster, all together. I love it. Good comment right there, Ken. Go Tigers. Mark says Caleb still has a long way to go to become a good quarterback. He has to learn to read defenses much better. There's some truth in that, but he's a rookie. At the beginning of the season, it's like it was hard putting Bear fans into their spot where they just want to say 15-2. And it's like, I don't have any issues with Caleb Williams and what he's doing, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Not all quarterbacks are going to come in like CJ Stroud. He's not the average example. He was recency bias. Just said Caleb Williams can be as good as Peyton Manning right off the bat. It's like even Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning right off the clip. It's all good. In closing, off topic, I wish the Tigers good luck. Okay, that was better. Typed it a little bit better. Lions win a dogfight tonight in a close game. One pride. Ken says New England through the years has shown that it was more about the coaching. Even with a good quarterback, you have to surround him with good players and good techniques. And Belichick was a genius. Bears definitely have the worst coaching in the division. Let's see. They might have brought Love back earlier than they would have liked to, but there's no chance the Fudgies beat the Queens with Willis at QB. I don't know. They went down 28-0. It would be hard not to at least think that you could do a little bit better than that. That wasn't good at all. Okay, JB, I misunderstood that. Okay, let's get in here. Go Tigers. Got some Tiger love in here. Hope the Tigers beat Houston. I hate the Astros. Yo, let's get a win tonight. One pride. That's Detroit in general, Grit. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Steve, I want a rematch in a divisional series. 2014's Tigers swept the Yankees. I like it. Tigers well suited to win a 3-game series with the strength of their pitching. They just need a couple of runs to give them a chance against the league's best teams. The thing is like it's just like football in that area where it's not about who is the best team. It's like who is the best team at the end of the season. A lot of these teams, when I'm looking at, like the Baltimore Ravens, like some teams peak too early. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings are great right now, but it's a long season. I mean, if you're a Minnesota Viking fan, skull, I mean, you're not going 17-0. Right, Jason? I mean, you would know that the Vikings ain't going 17-0, and the team's hot right now. The team's hot, but you'll go through a down spot in the season. But it doesn't even matter how you're playing now or when you go through that down spot, you lose a couple games. It matters how good you're playing week 17 into the playoffs. Who's the hottest team? I mean, look at what Tampa Bay did last year. They snuck into the back of the playoffs and they beat down the Philadelphia Eagles like they did yesterday. Steve's always ready. He's always ready for the troll game. Time to troll Ken and the Ken guys. Props to Bears and the Dilly Dilly Packers. No trolls for the. I got no trolls for the Bears this week. Congratulations, Broski, getting that win. Congratulations, Jason MC. Congratulations, Jason MC, to get your win. Love it. I love it. And we're going to find out tonight if Ken's right. We're hoping that the Lions can get a victory so I can run my mouth for the rest of the week. If not, then I have to like taper it back. It's not good getting a loss going into a bye week. Lions are going into a bye week. Going into a bye week, that means I can't talk crap for 2 weeks. Oh, can't do that. Can't do that. Great show. Thank you, Jeremy. David said Minnesota looked good until they handed the Packers the first half gift. 4 muffed punts in the NFL yesterday. Yeah, I mean, they made mistakes. Like, neither one of those teams are perfect. Nobody plays perfect football. I mean, there's some really, really good teams that got exposed yesterday, right? You know, I mean, Buffalo looked like they were the perfect team until you're not. You know, teams figure you out sometimes more than once in one season. You know, they'll figure you out, and then you got to do some scheming. You got to come up with new game plans, because once one team figures you out, you can expect the next teams to do it. Oh, okay, that's how you stop that. Better figure that out. So you have to have more places to go. And that's why I think that the Lions are such a strong team. Because Jared Goff isn't the best quarterback in the NFL, but they don't need him to be. It's like the backup plan is you got to pass the ball 50 times in a game. And they can win passing the football. Lions have proven that they can win passing the football. But when they're the best version of themselves, they're running the football and setting up that play action pass. And their offense is unstoppable when they get that going. But there are teams that will force the Lions into being one-dimensional, and you have to be able to win when teams make you one-dimensional too. Jason says, I stand by the 11 wins as predicted. We're not close to the peak yet either. So, yeah, this Minnesota, I told you about this Minnesota Viking team. Like, I know I got tabbed because of last year. I didn't predict the Vikings to do very well, and they didn't. You know, they showed some flashes, but they just didn't have the talent. This year, they have the talent. And the scariest thing about the Minnesota Vikings is they also have the coaching. And they also have the offensive and defensive lines. Because you can have all the sexy players that you want, all running real fast and scoring touchdowns. You know, the Justin Jeffersons of the world, the Amon-Ra St. Browns and the Gibbs of the world. Those are fine, but it's the offensive line. It's Darisaw. It's them being able to stand up to a big, badass defensive line like ours that is the scariest thing. I'm not scared of Josh Jacobs. I'm not scared of Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones. Our team stops the run. I'm scared of good coaching and continuity, like Jason says. They're not close to the peak yet. I mean, they have an offense that they can protect Sam Darnold with. That's the best offensive line Sam Darnold's ever played with. With a run game? Heck yeah. Right now, Minnesota is that better team. They're the best team in the North right now, even though the Lions are still the villains. My rule on the show is when you hold that title, you hold that title until they take it from you. And right now you can be leading the division, but the most recent winners of that NFC North division is your Detroit Lions. And that is the Lions title until it isn't. Just like last year. It took until week 16 until I said that the Lions were the best team in the division. Even though they were leading the division the whole time, I wouldn't let anybody on here as a Lion fan call, hey, we're the division. We're the kings of the division. I wouldn't let no play on that. And so after week 16, when the Lions finally took that title from the Minnesota Vikings, and now the Vikings are on top of the division. They're looking to take their title back. They have more NFC North titles and division titles than any team in the division. So I'm like the Rob Van Dam of this podcast. You wish. Rob Van Dam. All right. Russell is the Logan Paul of the. Hey, Logan Paul, I'll take that. I'll take that. I think that he's one of the most underrated wrestlers that's out there. Logan Paul. He's good on the mic. He's great in the ring. I like it. Ken Fisher says Lions 12-5. That's where I had them. Minnesota 11-6. Green Bay 9-7. Chicago 8-9. That's the black and blue division right there, Ken. I'm not saying Minnesota is the best until they beat us. That's fine. That's fine. I agree with that. Our first 6 games are the hardest part of the schedule. That's true. But you don't really know that because you're seeing teams that you thought were strong not being strong. So, the preseason predictions seem like they're a little bit off now. Now you're starting to find out what teams, who they really are. And I don't think that the Minnesota Vikings have peaked, but I do think that they came out hot, and they are hot right now. The team is hot. And at the end of that second half, they did cool off a little bit. And I don't know what that's going to. You'll see. You'll see how it's handled next week. But you'll see that the things that were stopping the Vikings, the things that were stopping the Packers, watch next week. The other teams are going to start doing the same things. That's what happens when you get tape. That's why I look at somebody like Jaden Daniels and I say, hey, pump the brakes. The kid came out. Wait for some tape to come out on the kid. Teams can come out hot. Quarterbacks can come out hot. That doesn't mean that he's going to stay hot. They'll figure out something to slow him down. They always do. This is the NFL, folks. Even if your team is badass, Barney badass right now, the team will stop you. You will get stopped. And then it's the good teams can figure out how those teams are trying to stop you and have counters to that. And that's what the good teams continue to win that way. But sometimes you can throw a recipe out there and then the team's never the same again. And I believe that's what you're seeing happen to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, but you can't just teach what Tampa Bay has, which is just a bunch of badass defensive linemen and they wreck your day. Throw the game plans out when it comes to playing good defensive and offensive lines. Oh, I get all these sacks. Well, you might run into a team like the Minnesota Vikings where they just have offensive linemen that can block your defensive line. That's what happens when you got a strong offensive line. But it's NFL Week 4. This is the review. Congratulations to the Vikings for getting their big win. Congratulations to the Chicago Bears. It doesn't matter how you get these wins. You got to get these wins. You got the Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks at home. Haven't won a game versus the Seahawks since 2012. Come on. Let's get that victory tonight. So our actual coverage is going to start during Mike's show. It's the Main Event Football Show. We're going to start coverage at 7 p.m. going right into the Villain Cast. Mike's out there trying to get sponsorship. Out there meeting with businesses. We have decided to open it up finally. We crossed 50,000. We got the influence now. If you want to partner with the Villain Squad, be guilty by association, and you want to support the Villain Report and the Main Event Football Show, 7 shows a week, you can get pricing by calling Main Event Mike. Set up a meeting with him. Let's talk about how we can help you. 810-620-2167. Become guilty by association. It's the Main Event Football Show. Daily, 10 a.m. broadcasting live into the 54,000 now of the Villain Squad onto our YouTube page at Villain Squad. The Detroit Lions News Podcast with the JC Sports Network, the Huddle Sports Network with Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan. We appreciate everybody that supports our program, especially all you live people in there. When you guys come in there live, you Chad, I see you out there in Arkansas. You're going to spot me a Bigfoot. I want a picture. I want to put a picture up on the Villain Squad when you take a picture of that Bigfoot, baby. Let's go. And we do have Villain Squad hats and shirts. We do have shirts. I don't know about the hats yet. But we're working on it. We're working on it, David. We want to build a little fan culture. And I hope that you enjoy the way that the Villains fan. We have rules to our fandomship that makes it good for other teams to come in. We even invite the trash talking. We invite the trash talking because we handle it the right way, because we have things in order. Because beyond trash talking, beyond everything else, we live on these principles right here: faith, family, and then football. We use football. We use football to spend time with our family, to create memories. We don't let football use us. And I want the best of things for you because I love you guys, no matter what. You know, I can't help Sarah follows a not good football team that's currently one game ahead of us. But I love Sarah, the person. I hope that Sarah has the best of things that happen to her in her life. Bear fans, Packer fans, I hope that you reach all of the goals in your life and that you're successful in life and that every dream that you have comes true. Because it's faith, family, and then football. Use football to create the memories. Don't let football use you. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tonight for the Main Event Football Show. God bless. Peace out.
Hey yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity.